And welcome to CCTV America's week-long look at alternative energy. We have been exploring the emerging technologies that proponents say are the key to the future of the global energy world. Solar power, for one, has attracted a lot of attention. The costs have dropped, but they still remain higher than traditional sources. One company in Northern California believes it has the solution. It's robots and automation. Mark Niu joins us now from Mountain View, California, with more on this story. Hi, Mark.
Phil, to many, solar power has always seemed like an environmentally conscious option, and the industry has done a tremendous amount to cut costs by reducing the price of solar panels by more than 70%. But on that front, manufacturers say that's as low as they can go, meaning the costs are still too high for most consumers to adopt. And the same goes for companies that need massive amounts of power to keep their plants going. That's where a company from Richmond, California, hopes to step in with automation. U.S. and European solar panel makers have recently blamed low-cost Chinese-made panels for a drop in market prices. But one U.S. company sees it as an opportunity for solar energy to finally go head-to-head with natural gas.
The last piece of inefficiency in solar is how we build plants. We still stick build them as if we were putting metal racks on a roof. When we want to build at scale around communities or in large solar farms, that actually just demands automation.
Meet Rover, Reliant Energy's top dog in the quest to build solar farms more efficiently. The robot can be controlled by just a few people and install one solar panel every 40 seconds. The next generation version will strive for one every 10 seconds.
We make the crew 7 times more effective. Our goal is really about building the solar industry, and for the solar industry to grow, we've got to do 2 things. We've got to get the cost out, and then we've got to increase the speed.
Rover doesn't need workers to install piles. Instead, it moves along a concrete rail that is essentially squeezed out, sort of like Play-Doh. Right now, this 45-pound panel is the standard size used in the industry so that 1 or 2 workers can handle it. Reliant Energy says with their robots, they can handle one that's double the size, producing 30% more energy and a 10% savings. Reliant also has a second robot that's controlled by a smartphone. It's named Spot, and it tirelessly wipes the dust off panels, a problem faced by many countries, especially those in the deserts of the Middle East.
By hitting a cost point and allowing the technology to compete, it actually creates market. If you think about what automation does, when it's done well, it actually elevates the nature of work. We're getting rid of the job that no one wants. People don't want to be out in the desert at 115 degrees turning bolts in a repetitive motion injury.
Whether the robots can transform the industry depends on how they perform when put to the test. In the coming months, Rover is slated to be used in 3 separate projects in Western China, Southern California, and Saudi Arabia. Phil.
You were showing pictures there of how the robots will actually work, so they're going to save roughly 10% or I guess be more efficient. The question is, these robots that they're putting out for testing, when will we know if they actually work?
Well, Reliant Energy will actually be breaking ground in Southern California for the very first test in about 2 weeks. Now, while I'm referring to this as a test, it's actually a full-scale commercial project where Reliant Energy is contracted to build a 4-megawatt solar power plant. They expect the project to take about 5 weeks to build, similar to what it might take for building one with regular labor. But in this case, using their robot Rover, they will be building the plant with just 25% of the number of laborers. If successful, this would serve as proof to often skeptical and conservative power plant owners that automation can work and therefore allow the technology to scale. Now, Reliant Energy also says they've managed to improve upon Rover already, having built a next-generation prototype that can work 2.5 times as fast while also being cheaper to build. They also hope to get that robot, the Rover 500, out in the field in the near future. And that's the one they say, if it proves to be successful, will ultimately bring the price of solar electricity in line with natural gas. Phil.
Ultimately, these robots are maybe more efficient than even humans. Mark Niu, as always, fascinating stuff.